When you have a product that costs the same now as it did in 1996, and you have gamers rising up in arms, grabbing their pitchforks and becoming full-on keyboard warriors over the mere thought of paying $10 more on a per-game basis, you know there's a problem. Yes, a $60 game back in 1996, $109 adjusted for inflation. Imagine that. Games get more and more expensive. Games get bigger and bigger. Graphics get better. Frame rates get higher. The hardware continues to advance. The cost of these games have not been going down, people. Development costs are through the fucking roof. That is why it is my amazing and wonderful honor to bestow upon you two facts. One, microtransactions are the greatest thing to ever happen to the gaming industry. And two, you should be purchasing microtransactions. You should absolutely be funding the skins, the weapons, and whatever else that developers and publishers choose to monetize for a couple of bucks here and a couple of bucks there. You see, gather around the campfire, children. Dead Metal would like to share a story. Games have always had additional content. There have been sequels. There have been, back in the day, anybody remember expansion packs from the 90s and 2000s? They weren't full-on games, but they were expansions to the base game that you already had. There's been standalone sequels. Microtransactions, and to a further extent DLC, but microtransactions embody the heart and soul of what gaming is about, man. Getting more out of your favorite games. Now, how is that a bad thing? How is that a bad thing? Take Call of Duty, take Battlefield, take Battlefront 2, take the heavy hitters, and just look at what they offer you, right? It was only up until very recently, it seemed like Call of Duty was putting out a battle pass every year for DLC, for maps, and they also had microtransactions. And now there's a bunch of skins dominating the market. You think Activision and Sledgehammer Games, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch are doing this shit on a volunteer basis? You think they're doing this out of the kindness of their hearts? They love seeing you play, but they're a business. And again, the price of games has not evolved in over 2 decades, people. 2 decades. Therefore, I, being a massive, massive fan of continuing to see video games push innovation forward, I will go on and make purchases for microtransactions on games I don't even play. You want to know why? Because I respect the developer, I respect the commitment to quality, and I respect the fact that they are cowering in fear because the average gamer will rise up in arms as soon as somebody mentions raising the price of their beloved video games, their plastic little box, their discs, or their digital content. But God forbid, the price of cable, of internet, of gas, of cars, of laptops, of appliances, of homes, of fucking everything else continues to fucking soar. But damn it, we're not going to let them touch our video games. Those things are $60. They're not putting enough content in the games to even justify asking for that much. Man, shut the fuck up. You sound like a whiny ass, entitled child. Microtransactions are one tool in a publisher's arsenal that they can utilize and tap into to cover additional funding costs, and you get something in exchange for it. You get something in exchange for it. You get an exclusive weapon, an exclusive skin, you get an exclusive level, maybe a specialized banner or icon next to your name, a special skin. It doesn't fucking matter. You're getting something that nobody else has. You get that sense of entitlement. You get that sense of achievement that your virtual avatar in a game that in no way, shape, or form has anything to do with reality is different and therefore better than somebody else's. I love buying skins in games. Take Overwatch, one of my favorite games ever. I pay for the skins rather than unlocking them for one specific reason. Seeing my avatar, my virtual representation of myself in a game, have a skin that somebody else does not have gives me an artificial feeling of superiority. For those 5 seconds, I'm the king of the fucking world. They're a peasant. They bow down to me and kiss my fucking shoes because I paid for special access and privilege to a skin that they couldn't fathom having. And that just goes to show the magic of microtransactions. Easily my favorite invention of gaming, my favorite facet that can be tapped into since the PS3 360 era. The internet was truly the greatest thing to ever happen to video games. But these poor clowns who try to parade around the fact that they're a gamer, but they can't possibly fathom a 14% increase to the product that's been stagnant for 20 years are the problem. And just know that I'm paying for these microtransactions out of my own pocket to help cover you cheap tightwads ill-perceived perception on what microtransactions are fundamentally there to do. All right? They're to stroke your ego, make you feel good, make you feel superior, and I will never stop buying them. I will buy every microtransaction I can get my fucking hands on. I love them. I went in debt. Funny story, quick story here, quick side tangent. In 2018, I went into debt. I legitimately could not cover the cost of the microtransactions I purchased in June of 2018. My unemployment checks just weren't cutting it. I had to actually take a step back, delete my PlayStation account, and go into rehab for a solid 3-month span. Now, these days I'm back on it, but I temper myself. I have a set allowance out of my unemployment to spend on microtransactions. The point is this, though. Don't be afraid to open up your pocketbook, make out a check, or punch in your credit card for some microtransactions. The developers and publishers will see you putting this money forward to support these creative endeavors that have not gotten cheaper, but in fact have gotten more and more expensive to develop as time goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to be buying microtransactions, and you need to be buying them now.